Let me know when everybody's ready.
Second.
Good. All right. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We're here to discuss two cases that we made on homicide and also our Safe Roads initiative that we started yesterday. But I want to thank Mayor for being here, standing with us and his leadership on fighting crime in our city. But most importantly, our homicide investigators and the team. Thank you for what each one of you do every day. And it's important. We were talking about before we came up. I want your families to see the great work that you do, and I want them to see your faces. And I want our citizens to see your faces. And our commanders, thanks for your leadership. But again, two senseless murders on either our highways or our roadways, and that's what we're here to talk about. Just going to briefly speak about it. Then the investigators are going to come and give detail on each case. Chief Cantu is going to come up and do a translation in Spanish, and then our commander Holloway is going to come in and talk a little bit about the Safe Road Initiative. So, two suspects here, as I said: Waddell Dupree Jones, 57 years old. He's charged with murder. That incident occurred on January 20th in the 7,000 block of West Gulf Bank. And again, the investigators will brief you in more detail. The other suspect, Oscar Vasquez Guzman, 42 years old, shot and killed one individual and injured two other ones. And that incident occurred on last Friday, January 26th. And again, great work from our homicide division. And I want to say this. Last year we ended with a clearance rate of almost 90%. That is unheard of, in a divisional clearance rate of almost 90%. That's unheard of in a major city, and I'm so proud of them again. This violence, we're not going to sit by and just stand by and do nothing about it. We're going to take it to them, being proactive. The mayor and I and other agencies, we discussed our initiatives of going after those individuals who are in our city that are wanted for murder, aggravated assault, aggravated robbery. But at the same time, our initiatives of making our roads safe. I do want to pause, too, and not forget about Louise Jean Wilson, 17-year-old female. And her family came in a few months ago, and we had a press conference here. We're still looking for that suspect or suspects. We want the public to, again, make sure you get us the information. And our investigators are going to do their hard work, but we still need to find those persons or persons responsible. And to that end, any family that's suffering, family member was killed in our city, we're not going to rest until we get those individuals in custody, and we need your help. But Mayor, I'll stand by and let you come up. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief Finner. This is exactly what I committed to during the campaign, which we are all united behind, is pursuing a tough and smart policy of fighting crime. I applaud the initiative of the Safe Road Ways. It was a collaboration. We'll hear shortly the statistics of what it produced. It's going to make our roadways safer. Certainly, we need to thank homicide and their support staff for pursuing these violent offenders that have been accused of violent crimes. The message is, if you have a warrant for your arrest and you're a repeat violent offender, we're coming after you. So thank you, Chief Finner, for the collaboration. I won't name all the agencies. There was a total of 8. That's exactly what I had in mind. It's a force multiplier. It's to support HPD and this chief and his command staff. And I want to thank the rank and file that put their lives on the line. While we were enjoying ourselves in our lives yesterday, first responders, HPD, and the other agencies were out on dangerous roads, putting their lives in danger to make our lives safer. So with that said, all I can say is this is a beginning, a start. You're going to see repeat enforcement efforts from HPD and their supporting agencies. Thank you all for being here. Let's spread the word. Our commitment is to make our roadways and our communities safer, and we're not going to rest until we've accomplished that. Thank you.
All right, come on, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Haverlow. Last name is spelled Heaverlo. I'm a detective with the Homicide Division. First of all, I want to thank Mayor Whitmire for being here today, Chief Finner and his command staff. I want to thank my commander, Commander Hassig, my direct lieutenant, Lieutenant Stephen Hope, and my partner, Sergeant Adam Dudley. Sergeant Dudley and I were dispatched back on January 20th, about 1:30 in the morning, and we were told of a shooting that had occurred in the 7,000 block of West Gulf Bank. We woke up out of bed and gathered our belongings and immediately headed to the scene. Sergeant Dudley went to the scene. I learned of a witness that was transported to 1200 Travis, and I gathered their statement. Essentially what we learned in the very beginning of the investigation was there were two people that were out on a Friday night, approximately 60 years old, maybe late 50s, and another person out having a great time on a Friday evening minding their business. They leave an establishment to go home. They're law-abiding citizens. They're minding their business. They are reflecting on the fun night that they had together. They pull up to a red light at the intersection of North Houston Roslyn and West Gulf Bank, and while they're 2 or 3 turns away from being home, the light turns green, and as they make a left turn onto West Gulf Bank, suddenly their car is shot up for no apparent reason. These two people were innocent and just trying to go home. We learn during this investigation, after we come together, Sergeant Dudley and myself, we start, like most detectives do, we canvass the area for any witnesses and video surveillance. We kind of worked backwards after talking with a surviving witness as well as a witness who was there at the scene and willing to return and also give a statement. And because of these people willing to help us, it really helped our investigation. We worked backwards from that location of the scene, and slowly but methodically, we were able to develop a suspect in this case. I want to stress the importance of the community. We went business to business, restaurant to store, to people living in residences, to HOA members. Everybody that we came in contact with during this investigation was very accommodating and willing to help. And we truly believe that without their assistance, we're not sure we would be standing here today. So we want to thank all of those people who assisted us in this investigation. It took us about 7 to 10 days to develop a suspect. And when we did develop a suspect, we did a lot of research using our resources that are available to the Houston Police Department, and we were able to go ahead and bring that person in for questioning. That person is Wydell Jones. Okay, we spoke with Wydell last night, and he gave us information that only he would know about the case. And it was during this interview with Mr. Jones that we were able to get the information we needed to go ahead and make this arrest. Immediately upon learning of the information, we went ahead and called Miss Maria Ramirez, the family, okay? Because tragically she lost her life that night. She had done nothing wrong. We were able to rule out all these different factors of road rage and other such incidents. It just was a person at the wrong place, wrong time. So we want to stress the importance to the public and the community for their assistance and help in helping us solve this case. And we feel that we have the right person in custody. And that's
Great work. Thank you.
That's it.
Come on up, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant John Strobel. That's spelled Stroble, and I'm assigned as a detective sergeant with Homicide Division. On January 26th, which was Friday night at just after midnight, my partner, Detective Kevin Collier, and I were assigned a shooting incident that occurred around the intersection of Southwest Freeway or 59 and Hillcroft in Southwest Houston. There were four young teenagers, 18. Two of them were 18 and two were 19. Were driving back from a night of going bowling and just hanging out with their friends, and they were headed back home when an aggressive driver started tailgating them and pulled up next to them and started firing a gun into their car. A total of 3 of the 4 teenagers were struck. The front passenger, Otarian Lomax, was struck 1 time in the head, and the back passengers both were struck in the leg and 1 in the foot. So the driver transported his 3 friends to Southwest Memorial Hermann, where they were treated. And unfortunately, the next day on Saturday, the victim, Otarian Lomax, passed away. I've got to commend our patrol officers and our crime suppression teams. This incident, like I said, took place about 12:30 in the morning. And within about 3 hours, patrol officers had located the suspect vehicle. They located video of the incident, which provided them with some distinguishing features of the suspect vehicle, and through their diligent work, they were able to locate that suspect vehicle within hours. So on the 29th, which was Monday, the defendant, Oscar Vasquez Guzman, was arrested for traffic violations by the Houston Police Department and brought in for questioning here at Homicide Division. He admitted to being present at the scene of the shooting at the road rage incident on the freeway, Southwest Freeway. However, his statement was inconsistent with the evidence that we had collected at that time. He was booked into the Harris County Jail, and one of our witnesses, one of the victims, was actually able to identify defendant Vasquez Guzman as the person that shot at their vehicle. Yesterday, defendant Guzman was charged with 1 count of murder for the murder of Otarian Lomax.
Thank you very much. Well said. Commander Holloway, come on up and speak briefly about our safe road initiative.
Thank you, Chief. As I said yesterday, we were out there in force on the 59 South Freeway yesterday. We had 8 agencies that reported their stats and the work that were out there. And in a 3-hour period, we conducted 195 traffic stops, which equated to 222 citations and 2 arrests, 1 for narcotics and the other was for outstanding warrants. While Homicide Division is doing a fantastic job of solving these crimes when they occur, traffic enforcement and our regional partners are out there trying to make sure that we don't have another press conference like this where we're talking about people who have lost their lives on our streets. So thank you again, Mayor, for putting all this together. Thank you, Chief, for your support and our efforts. And I hope I don't have to see you guys anytime soon.
Hey, thank you, Commander. Chief. Thank you. We'll entertain questions after the translation.
Okay. Buenas tardes, gracias a todos por estar aquí. Soy asistente jefe de policía Patricia Cantú con el jefe Finner. Gracias al alcalde Whitmire por estar aquí con nosotros y por su apoyo de HPD, la seguridad pública y agencias del orden público. Estos 2 homicidios son sin sentido porque las víctimas perdieron sus vidas mientras simplemente manejando en nuestras calles. Queremos agradecer al comandante de la División de Homicidio, Christopher Hassig, y su equipo de detectives por trabajo en resolver estos casos. Voy a tratar de decir las cosas que dijo el detective, solamente en este caso el caso de la señora María Ramírez, ellos salieron a divertirse como cualquier persona, solamente fueron culpables de pararse en una luz roja. Y en esa luz roja, solamente troca, el sospechoso, comenzó a disparar al carro que estaba dentro. Con la ayuda de los testigos, ayuda del público, y fíjate, en este momento, este día, no se puede escapar las cámaras que todos tienen en este momento. Y con esa ayuda de la comunidad, de los testigos, pudieron a resolver este caso. Hablaron con el señor Wendell Jones, el sospechoso, de 57 edad. El sospechoso es a mano izquierda y él estaba acusado de la muerte de la señora María Ramírez, que tenía solamente 59 años. Con la ayuda del público, esto se fue resolvido. En el enero de a las 1:40, mientras estaban esperando, los testigos fueron ayudaron muchamente, pero desgraciadamente la señora Ramírez falleció. Detectives Dudley y Heverlow identificaron a Jones como el responsable y fue arrestado ayer. El otro sospechoso, Oscar Vázquez Guzmán, de 42 años, está acusado de disparar a 3 adolescentes en el vehículo sobre la carretera 59 Sur, cerca de la salida de Hillcroft. Esto sucedió en el pasado viernes 26 de enero, a eso de las 12:30 de la mañana. Una de las víctimas, Otarian Lomax, de 19 años de edad, perdió la vida. El sospechoso iba en un vehículo y disparó al auto. Entre 3 horas, nuestros oficiales que trabajan de patrulla encontraron el vehículo, y eso es por trabajo que queremos apoyar y siempre dar las gracias que los oficiales, aunque no son detectives, son listos, siempre están listos y trabajan duro para resolver estos casos, porque nosotros queremos a la comunidad. Y como digo, estos 2 incidentes son sin sentido. Son una persona que solamente está en la carretera o nuestras autopistas, que quieren estar seguros y no se puede. Bueno, en este instante, los 2 instantes, nosotros estamos diciendo basta a la violencia en nuestras carreteras, y no es aceptable y no se va a tolerar. Los sospechosos están en la cárcel donde deben estar hasta que tengan su cita en corte. A la dirección del alcalde Whitmire, vamos a continuar a trabajar con todas las otras agencias del orden público aquí en Houston para dar a entender que esto es serio y nosotros sí queremos a nuestra comunidad. Nuestras carreteras deben de ser una área segura para manejar y viajar con nuestras familias. Nos da gusto decir que un total de 8 agencias participaron ayer en esta iniciativa. Nuestros esfuerzos combinados dieron con un total de 195 paradas de tráfico y 222 infracciones. Y también fueron arrestadas 2 personas. Esto es la primera de que van a ver, y solamente le decimos a las gentes, vamos a estar en las autopistas, en las carreteras, pero no se asusten cuando ven otros departamentos, porque nosotros solamente estamos trabajando unidos para combatir esta violencia y estos casos. Gracias.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
We'll open up for questions, and whoever you need to direct them to, just say it. Go ahead.
Chief, maybe one of the detectives best to answer this, but
Okay.
the one on North Roslyn, West Gulf Bank, do you know the potential motive? Was it robbery, if not road rage?
So we think it's random. We do believe that the shooter in this case, Mr. Jones, was maybe suffers from a form of mental illness, as well as possibly being under the influence of narcotics.
Thanks for asking that.
Is there any numbers that you can tell us when it comes to exactly how many additional officers and troopers are going to be out there daily? Yesterday, I assume there's going to be typically more than usual, and if it's partially based on overtime and officers volunteering, how are you going to ensure that every day you are meeting that standard?
I don't make any insurance on numbers and whatnot. This is the fact. It's going to be more officers out there with this initiative, and we're going to work together. I promise other agencies, if they have a problem in their area, we're going to move around. So nothing is defined, and what's going to move us is some of our stats and other crimes, but I don't want to talk specifically about numbers. As many as we can get out there. I think that y'all got some coverage, and that was part of us telling you exactly where we were going to be to let you see it. But we're going to move around, and it's not just going to be marked units. Part of that initiative, and Chief Satterwhite is kind of taking lead on it with other leaders. We're going to have marked and unmarked vehicles out there. So as we get numbers as far as arrest or whatever, we'll keep you posted on that. But I don't like to do front-end numbers on the units.
Without specifics, specifics, just so that we could get an idea? Are we talking dozens, hundreds? Can you give a ballpark range?
I think it'll be similar to yesterday, and that was, you could safe to say, dozens. Okay. Next question. Go ahead.
As the problem with violent and road rage incidents, have they increased since last year? Do you have any hard numbers that indicate there's a rise or a fall from last year?
We'll look at the numbers. We were just in the beginning of this year, and the official stats really don't come out until a couple of weeks after the month. So give me an opportunity to look at that. But as you've seen over the years, there has been an increase in road rage incidents. Okay, so this is why we're forming it, and not just road rage incidents, aggressive driving, speeding, racing on our roads. We simply, and the mayor's been really clear about that. We had initiatives going, but he wants us to dig deeper, and we will dig deeper, because when you ride around on our streets, y'all know I'm born and raised here in this city, and a lot of our troops are as well, serious about taking control of our streets. When you take control of those streets, you're gonna gain a better control of the crime. So this is what we're doing. Hope that answers. Go ahead.
Chief, we're talking about 2 homicides today. You mentioned another one, Luis Wilson. Are there any initiatives to get your homicide detectives more resources or anything?
We've done that, and we'll continue to do that. But when you have a clearance rate that high, and I said it's almost 90%, and don't get me wrong, I'm very competitive. They are extremely competitive, and this is not a game. We're talking about light. We want it 100%, but in front of that, we want to be proactive so we can prevent. But we're going to need our citizens to make better decisions. We're going to need our judges on board. We're going to need our prosecutors, and I've talked about it before, and I'm going to be a bit more boisterous on people, and especially our criminal justice system, because what angers me and frustrates me as a chief and my other colleagues, and definitely the men and women who are doing the work, repeat after repeat after repeat, no accountability. That has to change. And when we change that and tweak it a little bit, and I don't like attacking people personally, but everybody needs to be held responsible and accountable. Okay?
Might be a question for one of the
Go ahead.
detectives, but yesterday you spoke about TransStar cameras, how you were working to record them. It seems like in both of these cases, video and surveillance helped. I'm curious, is there something that would help detectives, the TransStar cameras recording anything on the freeways, to help you guys crack down on people further?
They can speak to it, but I don't want to get them and my investigators in something that the mayor and I have talked about, and we're going to schedule some meetings with TransStar and with TxDOT. There are some legal hurdles that we have to cross, but we're going to cross them, because we know, without a doubt, with just to be factual, when there is a crime, if there is some camera system somewhere, we can use that to get those persons or that person in custody. So we really focus on that, and you'll hear more about it coming in a few weeks here. Go ahead.
Mayor Whitmire, you may want to address this. I have family and friends in other cities around the country who say, you know, every time I see some crazy crime story, it's in Houston. What's going on in Houston? Despite the clearance rate, despite the fact that certain crimes may be down, is perception an issue for you?
Certainly, perception is often reality in many people's minds. You know, what's changed is, I think, an attitude of no nonsense, collaboration. We're going to do whatever it takes. Rook asked about resources. We're going to find the resources. We are going to make a difference in regards to public safety across Houston. But you know, crime doesn't recognize a city limits. That's the reason we're going to have all the agencies involved at every level of government. So, you know, I've already seen a morale difference in HPD. They tell me, they come up, they want to do their job. And I've told them, I'm going to back you. You follow the law, your training, we're going to back you. If you abuse your power, we're going to hold you accountable. But most officers are well-trained, not most officers, but our officers are well-trained, and I was going to say most officers want to work extra hard. We'll have officers willing to work overtime where they might not have in the past, because they're seeing the results. They live in the community. They have family. They have to deal with victims. And it's so great that you get to see the face of these officers. These are regular people like you and me, but they put their lives on the line. I can't imagine. I don't know if you've ever had car trouble on one of our freeways. I was foolish enough and spending my thoughts on other people's problems. I ran out of gas on I-10 at Silver Road. You ought to get on the side and wait for someone to come to your assistance. These officers do it daily. Get out on the road, and they're going to be doing traffic enforcement, and that is a dangerous job. But they understand it. It's making a difference. So this is just the start. I'm fired up. These officers fired up. The leadership's fired up. We want you to get fired up. And back to your friends or relatives that say it points to Houston. Hey, a lot of people are jealous of Houston. You know what? We have a great city. We have some maintenance to do. We've got some improvements to do, but all cities do, certainly large cities. But, you know, people are moving here in large numbers. We've been discovered. This is where people want to live, and we've got to be prepared. And it starts with public safety. It's a quality of life issue. I want people to live in Houston, not just work in Houston, go back to Cypress or Katy or Pearland, Sugarland. I want people to work and stay at home in Houston, and they're going to do that because we're going to make sure that they feel safe. Perception, that's very subjective, but, you know, if you haven't changed your lifestyle in recent years, you probably should have. I won't go to a dark grocery store parking lot, Kroger on West Gray, where I used to go in the evening. No. I feel a little more better because I know how fired up HPD is. But here's where we're directing it. We want to be smart with the technology, proactive police work, but then we're going to be tough. We want to, as the chief said, hold violent offenders accountable. We've got to do something with the backlog. We've got to get the forensics, the resources they need. We need to get more air coverage. Hey, we're all in this together, and you're going to see the difference in a very short time.
With this initiative, we spoke about yesterday how it's nothing new. It was initiated in 2021. Can you talk specifically, we've always had troopers on the freeways, what is specifically being done this time for us to stand up here the second day in a row talking about this initiative that isn't new?
Yeah, I'll let you answer, then I'll answer you on that. Yeah.
The big answer is collaboration. It's bigger and better now than it ever has before. You know, traffic enforcement has been handling this on our own since 2021. Now we have assistance and resources from 40, 50 different agencies in our area. That's never been done in my career. So the answer is it's bigger and better than it was in 2021, and we're seeing the results.
Just make it real simple because we're going to answer a few more questions, and I got another meeting to go to. But I've always say when I go out to community meetings, I don't hide behind anything. I'm a straight shooter. Report cards are good. Let's see what's happening in a few months, and that's fair enough. We should be held accountable. Are we going to change everything overnight? Is this a panacea? No, it's not. But people will understand and know that we're serious about making our city and our roads and our highways safer. And you should see those results. Okay? Any more? We good? Go ahead. Yes.
If there be any type of advice you can give to people on how to be as defensive as possible if they feel like they're approaching an aggressive driver?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Y'all so smart in our city. That's why I respect our media. Be patient and be tolerant and understand you never know how crazy a person is behind another wheel or what they're going through. So the main thing, give people space when you can. If they cut you off, so what? Okay, just slow down. Get you home safely. But look, do try to get us a license plate or a description of that car. We're going to have increased patrol out there, and I said marked and unmarked. Call dispatch and let us know, hey, I'm on 59 southbound, just past Hillcroft. It's a red Toyota pickup truck that's just driving crazy. You know, let us know. Let us know. But do be patient and check your own emotions. Everybody, it's a stressful time in our society right now. But if everybody just slow down, careful people a little bit more, and don't take things personal, because you never know who you're dealing with. You honking the horn, and obscene gestures. Don't do that. And I didn't do it. My hand just went up. Okay, so don't y'all be trying to say chief. All right, seriously. But thanks for that question. But thank y'all so much. And the final thing, we're going to need y'all help. We really do. And I told the mayor this and talking to the other investigators when we came in. Press is not our adversaries. I love you guys, and we work together. Y'all hold us accountable. We hold y'all accountable. But everybody's in the best interest of putting stories out, the truth here in Houston, because all of us take pride in our great city. Our sports teams are doing a lot better. I want to say that, but the crime is going to get better, okay? I promise y'all, all right? And I don't make too many promises, but we fired up. All right, thank you.